Have you ever looked at your bank account after paying rent and thought, there's just nothing left to budget? Like, what exactly am I supposed to spread across categories when the whole thing is already gone? You are not bad with money. The system you've been told to use was not built for your situation. Today I'm going to show you one that is. Welcome back to Cents and Commas, where we make money make sense. Today we are talking about how to budget when money is actually tight, not the advice that assumes you have an extra $500 just sitting there. Okay, so budgeting on a low income is like packing a suitcase when the airline only lets you bring one carry-on. You do not have unlimited space. You cannot bring everything. So you have to decide what actually matters, what can you live without, and what do you absolutely need to get where you're going. That is what a budget actually is. It is not a punishment. It is not a spreadsheet designed to make you feel bad about every dollar you spend. It is a packing list. It tells your money where to go so you are not standing at the end of the month wondering where it went. And here's the part most budgeting advice skips. When your suitcase is already small, you need a completely different approach to packing. You cannot just fold things neater. You have to choose differently. That is what we are going to build today. Real quick, before you do anything else, you need to know exactly what comes in and exactly what must go out. Not estimates, real numbers. Let me tell you about Maria. Maria is a single mom, brings home about $2,400 a month. She had been avoiding looking at her bank account because every time she did, it just made her anxious. But when she actually sat down and wrote out the numbers, it took her maybe 15 minutes. She realized something. She was spending $87 a month on subscriptions she had completely forgotten about. Streaming services from free trials she never canceled. An app she used twice. $87 a month. That is over $1,000 a year. Now, does cutting $87 in subscriptions solve everything? No. But let's break that down. That is a week of groceries. That is a utility bill. That is money that was already coming in, but was not being directed anywhere useful. So your one move here, write down your take-home pay for the month, then write down every single bill, every subscription, every automatic payment. Get the real numbers. You cannot budget what you do not know. Now here is where most budgets get it backwards, and this is especially true when income is tight. Most people budget like this: income, then bills, then spending, and maybe if something is left over, savings. But when money is tight, there is never anything left over. So saving never happens. Let me tell you about James. James makes about $2,800 a month. He told me he could not save. He had tried, but every month the money was gone by the time he thought about it. So he tried something different. He set up an automatic transfer of $20, just $20, the day after his paycheck hit. $10 from each biweekly check. Now I know what you might be thinking. $20 a month? What does that even do? Let's break down the math. $20 a month is $240 a year. After 5 years, that is $1,200, not counting any interest. Is it life-changing? No. But here is what actually happened. James proved to himself that he could save. Once he saw that $20 worked, he bumped it to $30, then $40. The amount was not the point. The habit was. That is the flip. You pay yourself first, even if it is embarrassingly small, because you are training your brain to believe that saving is possible. Okay, so if you are paid bi-weekly, which a lot of us are, one of the biggest budgeting headaches is that bills do not line up neatly with paychecks. Rent hits on the 1st, but your second paycheck comes on the 23rd. So what do? Let me tell you about Tasha. Tasha gets paid every other Friday. Her rent is $1,200, due on the 1st. Her issue was that the paycheck closest to the 1st only covered rent, and then she had nothing left for 2 weeks. Here is the fix that worked for her. She split every bill into 2 categories: first paycheck bills and second paycheck bills. Then she looked at each bill and asked, which check is this closest to? Rent and utilities went to the first paycheck. That was about $1,400. Car payment, insurance, phone went to the second, about $600. Groceries and gas she split between both. What she did not do was try to divide every bill exactly in half. That gets complicated and it is exhausting to track. Instead, she assigned whole bills to whole paychecks based on timing. Now, does this mean every single month goes perfectly? No. Some months have 5 Fridays, some months things shift, but having a default plan, even an imperfect one, is better than starting from scratch every 2 weeks. Now, here is where it gets interesting. A study from the Federal Reserve found that nearly 40% of Americans would struggle to cover a $400 emergency expense. 40%. That is not a budgeting problem. That is a system problem. But here's the thing. The people who do make progress on low incomes are not the ones with the most willpower. They are the ones who stop trying to budget like they make six figures and start using a system that actually fits their life. All right, let me tell you about David. David makes about $2,200 a month, and he had been told his whole life to cut out small expenses. Skip the coffee, pack your lunch, cancel the streaming services. And yes, those things help. But David had already done all of that, and he was still barely making it. The problem was not the coffee. The problem was that his rent was 55% of his income. His car payment was another 20%. 75% of his money was gone before he even thought about groceries. This is what I call the big rocks framework. You have heard the expression, if you fill a jar with sand first, there is no room for the big rocks. Your biggest expenses, housing, transportation, debt payments, those are your big rocks. They need to go in first, and you need to look at them hard. For David, the fix was not in his budget spreadsheet. It was moving to a cheaper apartment. His rent went from $1,200 to $850. That one change freed up $350 a month. No amount of skipping coffee was going to do that. Now, I want to be straight with you. Moving is not always possible. Getting a cheaper car is not always possible. These are not easy switches, and I am not going to pretend they are. But if your big rocks are taking 70 or 80% of your income, that is the conversation you need to be having, not whether you bought lunch 3 times this week. But I want to be straight with you about something. Building a budget on low income, is not going to feel good at first. It might actually feel worse before it feels better. Because looking at the numbers means facing them, and facing them can hurt. That does not mean you are bad with money. It means the margin is thin. And when the margin is thin, every decision matters more. That is not your fault, but it is your reality. Avoiding the numbers, that usually makes the problem more expensive. Okay, so by now you have your real numbers, you have flipped to paying yourself first, you have split your bills between paychecks, and you have looked at your big rocks. The last piece is making the system run without you. Let me tell you about Elena. Elena set up her budget, split her bills, even found $75 a month to save. But she was spending so much mental energy every week deciding where money should go. Should she pay the electric bill now or wait? Could she afford to go out this weekend? Every decision was exhausting. So she automated what she could. Bills that were the same amount every month. Car payment, phone, internet. She set to auto pay the day after her paycheck hit. Her savings transfer was automatic. What was left in her account after that? That was what she actually had to spend. No more mental math every time she opened her banking app. Now, I know some of you are thinking, what if I overdraft? What if something goes wrong? Start with just one bill on auto pay. Pick the one that never changes and that you have to pay no matter what. Get comfortable with that. Then add another. You do not have to automate your entire financial life tomorrow. All right, so if this all feels like a lot, here's what I want you to remember. 5 things. 1. Know your real numbers, not guesses. 2. Pay yourself first, even if it is just $10. 3. Split your bills between paychecks so you are not starting from zero every 2 weeks. 4. Look at your big rocks before you worry about the coffee. 5. Automate one thing so the system works without you. And your one move this week? Write down your take-home pay and every bill you have. Just the real numbers, on paper, in a note on your phone. Do not try to fix anything yet, just look at it. Because you cannot change what you will not face. If this helped you, drop a comment and tell me, what is the one bill or expense that stresses you out the most? I read those comments and I want to know what you are dealing with. Like this video, subscribe if you are not already, and share this with someone who needs to hear that budgeting on a low income is possible. It just looks different. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep building your cents and your commas.